Peace, family, peace, family. Peace to all the guys and goddesses on the planet. Peace to all the kings and queens. Peace to all the princes and princesses. Ooh, welcome back to the page of No For Info. If it's your first time viewing, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you watch the video all the way through because you know it only gets better as the climax increases. But today, it's a little, I gotta start off with my little current events. It is a little gloomy today. It's a rainy day. Kind of already going through some, things, and I guess I can expound on them before the ultimate message because it actually got something to do with it, and I always like to present to the family no matter how I'm feeling, at the end of the day, because emotions and all this stuff are an illusion. And I'm always talking about illusions and stuff like that. Like I have a couple of videos talking about illusions and things of that sort. But what I want to come to is there will be a lot of illusions trying to, stop you from your ultimate mission, stop you on your ultimate conquest, and you just can't let you can't let them get to you. Even just yesterday, it was so crazy. So my phone was in my pocket. Even the phone was in my pocket for probably like an hour or something. I don't really know because I was at work and stuff, so I'm moving around a lot and doing a lot of walking. So I look at my phone. This month talking about unavailable for 3 hours because it had been like when you continuously put your password and you put in the wrong password. 3 hours long. I had to wait on my phone to come back on. So I couldn't even get on my phone about 2 in the morning, 2 something in the morning. So I wasn't on my phone from probably 6 to about 2 in the morning. And I'm only saying that because, I had been texting this, this person I've been conversing with recently. And, you already know how it go. Girls swear you were doing a million things, you ain't doing nothing. I really was at work and then I came home and since my phone wasn't working, even though I probably did regardless, I just, I worked out, showered, and then by the time that was done, it was boom, back on. So, I rolled up to it, and then when I started smoking, then it came back on at perfect time. That's for me though. But anywho, they don't believe me or whatnot. But it kind of had me thinking today, when I first, more to get to the point of the story. And basically, it had me. I woke up. It's raining. Yesterday, phone wasn't working. Stuff going on. It's just a whole lot of stuff that was kind of trying to keep me from presenting this message. And that's just why I had to let you know the backstory before I presented it, because it is a powerful message. And with the rain, it just fits so perfectly with the contrast of the story, because I was just going to talk about not specifically rainbows, but what the rainbow represents. And just, this just one point I'm going to touch on, and we're going to continue. Because there are different things that we're going to get into today. Like these different supernatural powers and these things that we have that we don't know are powers. And we just are exposing our powers and letting us know the powers are back. But you have to know that powers. And you can enhance on it. So, with the rainbow, they tell you that it is, light. Well, if you at least know up to a certain point. If you're a little kid or something, you may think that a rainbow is just, something that the water hit and it just created it. If you're a little bit more advanced, you might know that. Well, if you actually look here, you might think it's like a leprechaun at the They got you thinking it's a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. That's what you think about as a little kid. Because I remember what I used to think about. It was a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow, which is actually a good concept when you think about it. But we're going to get into that a little later in the story. So, like I said, if you're a little kid, you're going to think of a rainbow leprechaun at the end. If you're a little bit more advanced, you're going to know that light is reflecting off of the water and it's creating a reflection, which is called a rainbow, which they call it. So if you're even more advanced, then you're going to know that this so-called rainbow is actually the layers of the earth. This red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet color that are the spectrums are the dome that is around the earth. And this dome was put here by us when we was created. It was put here by the Nerubians, and basically it was put here around the earth to protect us from the sun's rays, of course, because we was getting direct ultraviolet rays from the sun, which that's what the sun emits, ultraviolet. The violet protects it, the indigo, and it has to go through these layers, and that's why the blue is that's what we see in the sky, because that's how much it's catching it, and it's presenting the light spectrum of blue because it's catching that much. It's catching the violet and the indigo. So if you think about it, the sun is really like a ultraviolet color, and it's basically dimmed down by the dome, by these protective domes, about the aerospace and the ether, and it's just like the different layers to the which they teach it to you, but they don't let you know that these are different color spectrums, So with these different color spectrums and things, you have to know what you're looking at when you look up. Why the sky blue? Now you know why the sky blue, because of these things, which I have went into this in the past, but it's always good to touch up on things, of course. It's always good to touch up on things. So when you look into this unseen world that you obviously not seeing, with this light being caught, catching that indigo and that violet color, protecting you from the ultraviolet, there's a lot of invisible things, and there are a little bit of visible things, but there's more invisible, and we call this the dark power, or dark unseen. And this is the space that is between you and me. This is the space that's between, or the illusion of space, or the illusion is created by this darkness, which is light. And let's, go deep with that, for sure. But you have, which I went into this the last video, you use 10%. Most people use only 10% of their brain at the most of their life. They only using 10%. You have a whole other 90% that most people have never tapped into. Only a few maybe even get into that 90%, because nobody really are given the keys to unlock that gift. And it was more to the tides, the 10%. That's what that 10% is. Why you think that they said give 10%? Why is it 10% at the churches and stuff? You gotta go into these things. Everything is not always so straightforward. It's not always about money. But when you're in a capitalistic society, then these things are pushed. The 10% was to give Because when you go into meditation and things of this sort, you dropping your frequency down to that theta, which we went into last video. You dropping into that theta and that's when you are able to go into the REM sleep, come up with visions, and bring it back here. The more you go into that REM sleep, the more you can come back with more manifestations or visions or whatever you want to call it. Because you can go into the future and pick up something that you're going to do in the future, bring it here, and start creating it early. And it got me thinking, like, was it already, was you going to create it regardless, or was it created just because you got the vision, you know? I still be wondering sometimes, you know. But you basically giving that 10%. 10% is the illusion that you see around you. 10% is all this stuff that make you feel like you're more than the all. Because the all is that 90%. When you start to unlock that 90%, like I said, when you drop down into that frequency, you tapping into that 90%, and it's going up inch by inch. If you just using it unconsciously, then it's, you know, it's not as effective. That's like even on a video game, if you got 10 things downloading at one time, versus if you just pause all them and put a focus on that one, it's gonna enhance the speed of that drive. And that's basically what you're doing when you go into meditation. You're upgrading the systems. You're upgrading it because it's unlocking new pathways. You discover more neural pathways in your brain just by going in. Because you're using your conscious mind to go into the subconscious. So you keep giving it electricity and tapping into it more. This space, this dark, this unseen that you're going into, which your visual gonna be that left side. Most people only on their use their left side of their brain. No one use the right side really. But creative people and very creative people always use the right side of their brain because that's more of that 90%. That's more of that creative side. And that's when you start to know if you are a left pathway or a right pathway, because the left pathway is going to do the norm and the right pathway is going to do something that's, within that 90% of that invisible. And the power is in the 90%. That's what the power is. And who is this power that's there when you go into this dark place? You're looking at what they like to call Melchizedek, which is a particular god or however you want to call it, that is over pretty much the thing that's on your palm. On your phalange, your fingertip. He over basically of the Milky Way. It's this darkness, this in between, what's in between the stars. It's power in the silence. It's power in the in between. That's the Melchizedek. Like I said, you only seeing 10%. When you go into the meditation and stuff, you're giving to the 90%. You're giving your focus and attention to the creator of what you like to call the universe that you live in, the galaxy that you live in. And when you break down this Melchizedek, you actually get some interesting stuff. He was also the king of peace, and sometimes you gotta war bring peace sometimes. So that's why they always say it's different. God's faithful God. He is a loving God. He's a different type of God. God is all. He is the giver. He is the taker. He is the giver of life. He is the taker of life. All in one. Know that. But know that you are protected as long as, because we are naturally like they like to call some of the members nocturnal. And most of this nocturnal means you can see in the dark and things of that sort. That's some of our superpowers that we have that we don't realize it's a superpower. We say it's normal. You with people in the dark, can't nobody see you except for you. You going through that like it ain't nothing, like it's daytime. What is nighttime when you got these powers? And that's right now when it's dimmed down. Imagine when we have full capacity, there wasn't no darkness. Because even in the darkness, you can see. So what is darkness? Think about that. If we real nocturnal, just be in the dark room that you consider dark when you cut the lights off and clean. Go into meditation and open your eyes. You won't be able to see the whole room. You're gonna be able to see it like it's the daytime. Because even if you're in a dark room, you close your eyes and go into an even darker room. The dark room that you thought you was in don't seem so dark. It's the light now. There's no darkness. There is no darkness. We are simply God in the flesh. That's all we is. I go get my creative from these creative places. I bring it here, create here. That's God. I'm going into this certain vibration that's godly. Picking up vibrations, bringing it here, presenting it to the masses of people who are not even in that vibration most of the time, never. Or even if they do go into that vibration, don't have the body don't have the capacity to contain the energy of that frequency to convert a frequency into. It takes a certain DNA to unlock these codes, these genetic codes. It takes a certain type of vibration to be able to unlock these genetic codes. Everybody can't do it. Everybody can't go. You know, they can go down there, but they don't know what they seen. They don't remember. They don't know. It was just dark. But some people can go down there and it's light in the darkness. And that's what you gotta know. That's what you gotta know. Know that these obstacles that they place in front of you are simply illusions. All obstacles are illusions. You finish it as soon as you start. And that's what it came down to today. I had to start the video, but sometimes starting be the hardest part. You know, it's hard to sometimes. I ain't gonna say it's hard, but it can be like mind strangling. You can be like, I don't want to do it no more. I'm done with it. But no, this information has to be presented. It has to be known so that we can learn off of it. So we can know that the 5-point star is the woman and the 6-point star is the male, with the 6-point at the bottom being the tail, or for other words, the male part. You just got. There's just some stuff you gotta know. You gotta know these illusions, the moon illusions. What if the sun wasn't there? Would you be able to ever see the moon? You would never be able to see no moon before there's no sun. So what's the illusion? The sun, the moon is the illusion. Because the sun is basically showing something that's trying to hide. It's being fake. It's presenting it. That's why when it's presented, you start to have those visions in it, because it's presenting so much light on the stuff that's trying to hide. Like, what is that in the sky? But it's kind of like, gotta think about the colors too. Because sometimes when you have the most visions, it's during like a full moon and stuff like that. And that's when the most sun is being reflected. So the energy is coming in, but it's still at a cool state. So you're able to have those bright, vivid dreams. And you gotta continuously pay attention to your dreams and, like I said, build on, work with it. Let it know that you listening and that you creating based off of, because that's your higher self, that's you at a higher vibration. Or at a certain vibration to where you're able to interpret these messages and bring it back and get your understanding more fluently, because that's the only way you're gonna really be able to build a connection when you're going, doing your meditations. When when your higher self actually starts to speak to you, you have to listen. You have to, move a little bit based on that vision. Let it know that it's not just sending you dry information, that you actually make plans of action towards those visions that it's giving you. Let's say you having a dream about some art, where you think some of these artists get their art from? It's their higher mind. All they doing is scripting it down. All they doing is being a scribe at the end of the day, being able to hold and unlock that certain vision that they're giving, which is basically an idea. Because you can simply pull the same thing from an idea and you can just free draw it. But when you go into these certain states, you can see it just as plain as it's already complete. And you see it you see the art as complete when you are at these certain states. Before you even start, it's already completed. It's already shown to you. All you doing is living up to its potential and trying to come as close as possible to its godliness. Like I said, continue to give tithes to not people outside of yourself, but continue to give tithes to yourself. Not monetary tithes, but tithes of attention and just being centered. Not self-centered, but centered, balanced, things of that sort. But with that being said, family, I'm gotta get up out of here. I'm gonna let y'all meditate on that and get y'all Shekinah out of that, get y'all glory out of that, and we're just gonna continue to. Next video is gonna be even more powerful. Like I said, this one is gloomy, stuff going on. We just want to present this information, give a powerful message, and it's still gonna be grand. Nothing can stop the message, not even stuff that's going on. And my life can't stop the message. Nothing that's going on in the outside world gonna stop the message. The message will be presented. And that's, on everything. But peace, family. Peace, family. Peace to all the guys and goddesses of the planet. Peace to all the kings and queens. Peace to all the princes and princesses. Continue to shine. Continue to be the brightness and the joy of people's day, no matter what's going on, no matter what obstacles will come. Continue to grow. Continue to strive. I say, peace, family.